guys? Thank you for listening to the Bridge to Buctober podcast, where we talk all about them Pittsburgh Pirates and that. My name is Josh. Today is September 18th. Oviedo is someone we're watching closely down the stretch, bouncing back from injury. He had the ball yesterday, and, well, let's talk about it. Good morning to everybody listening in the morning.
It is a good morning there, little man.
Good afternoon and evening to everybody else. You can listen to this one anytime because the Pirates have today off. But yesterday they did not. Yesterday afternoon they got swept by the Cubs. Sorry I had to remind you that. That's what happened. They clinched the postseason berth and all that stuff. So that's always fun. But Johan Oviedo got the ball, as I said. And basically, I think that this whole show might just be wrapped up in that single scenario. Oviedo had a tough first inning. 4 runs very early. And well, let's cut straight to the chase. After that first inning, he said Mitch Keller told him that he was tipping pitches. So he said afterwards, as a few questions were asked of him, basically immediately, as soon as he got into the to the dugout, he was let known, and he made an adjustment. He was able to follow that first inning with 4 scoreless, giving the Pirates a chance to tie the game before he ended up out of the game. That's it's a good performance to be. I mean, I understand you give up 4 runs, but then to be able to go out, and the second inning wasn't easy. But to be able to go out, it seemed like every inning he got better. And I think that there's a strength in that. I think that there's something to take away from that. And maybe that's all we're doing at this point in the season as Pirates fans. But anyway, it kind of goes to show that every team is always constantly watching for this sort of thing. We've heard of this before. This was the story of David Bednar, tipping pitches the whole year last year. Came into this year, was much better. I think we maybe overreacted early to something that we were seeing, or maybe he was tipping again and they said, we're getting you down there to get it fixed before it gets out of hand again. Whatever it was, he certainly bounced back from it. Usually, we're talking about a dugout that's able to pick up on the other team's tipping. But the other side of that whole scenario was shown up here. When we first heard about it, we heard about it from the pitcher himself. You're constantly watching your own pitchers too, to see if there's something you can pick up on. In this case, he said Mitch grabbed him as soon as he came off the field. One reason it may have been so obvious is because he said there was another time this season that he was tipping. He said, I think they were asking if this was a one-time thing or whatever, and he said there was another start or whatever. So this is something that they're probably watching for when Oviedo's out there. And maybe we'll get to the Cubs side of that too. But I want to say, like, this is a good thing. I mean, the guys are looking out for him. I think that there's some accountability being shown there, and I think that's something that we all look for all the time. It's not just a free-for-all. These guys are going out there blind and doing their thing and whatever, but it actually shows a little bit of like, hey, we got your back. And I think that's really good. It's probably worth it to have a discussion about tipping pitches, recognizing when somebody's tipping and so on. Because Oviedo kind of said a few times during his interview, the way that he was talking is he didn't want to take anything away from the Cubs offense. That, they were hitting good pitches still, that, he was just saying, like, I'm not trying to take anything away. Like, I think his feeling was, hey, I'm saying that I was tipping pitches, but I'm not making excuses and saying that the Cubs aren't good. They just got to hit me when I was tipping. Like, that's not the point of what he was saying. And he was trying to get that across. But I'm going to add to this because he wanted to kind of give credit to what they were actually hitting as well, which I think is fair and fine to do. As a matter of fact, I think if you're a competitor, I think you're better off saying that they earned it, because that if you're going to lie about something, I'd rather lie saying my stuff was good and they just beat me today. Then rather than I pitched like crap today. You know what I mean? I don't know. Anyway, I'd like to add to the credit here, because recognizing that somebody is tipping pitches is also a skill. And I think, we've heard fans say that, if the Cubs hitters knew what was coming, I mean, we've heard about the Cubs, but, in this scenario, if the Cubs hitters knew what was coming, they didn't really earn those hits or whatever, because they knew. And it does make a huge difference if you know what's coming. I mean, a huge difference. But they had absolutely earned it because they figured out what he was doing. They were able to recognize it. Now, traditionally, right? Leadoff hitters, they're going to say, I saw this. Bench guys are constantly looking for tips and twitches and something they're doing with their glove, with their eyes, with their rotation or anything. They're looking at anything they can get. Anything. Everyone in that dugout is locked in from pitch one. There's not, if you're not playing, you can still contribute. There are still things to watch for. You can watch different ways they're fielding, but you're specifically looking for things that the pitcher can show you that can give your hitters an advantage. They're watching stuff like that. It's not only part of the game, but it's a skill that can be developed. You can learn by watching more and more and more and seeing it when it happens. You can start to pick up on those things. And it is by no means cheating. It is strategy. It's gamesmanship. It's doing everything to try to win the game. It's not live video feeds and trash can slamming when the sign is stolen from a video feed, right? That's not what it is. This is live, in person, something that you're picking up either from the batter's box or from the dugout. Recognizing tipped pitches, stealing signs from second base. You did earn it. You got to second base. If that catcher's going to show you what he's throwing, by all means, try to relay that to the hitter if you can. Some hitters don't like that. So, you won't do that to them. But listen, you can't just tell the hitter to cover his ears and yell out to the pitcher what to throw next. Like, you have to, it's part of the game. So if he had done this before, and he said there was another start where he might have been, then the Cubs would have came into this game thinking about that, watching for that, absolutely watching for that. Hey, we think he was tipping his pitches in this game, so we're going to watch for that very thing that we know was present when he was tipping either his last start or a couple starts ago or whenever that was. They're watching for it, which is how they were able to get on it right out of the gate. So it's not, right? There's still credit to be given. This is a team sport. Knowing that fact, he has some work to do if it's something that he's repeating. As well as hitting, he specifically said it was pitches that guys normally chase, as well as hitting good pitches, I meant to say. He said something about pitches that guys normally chase, they were laying off and they were going for balls. So you could look at maybe, he walked the first guy right out of the gate. And if there was a couple pitches he threw there that maybe normally an offering gets made and gets hit, either gets hit easily or gets chased out of the zone or whatever. So I looked at the first inning. I wanted to know. I looked at all balls and called strikes. There were 15 pitches in the first inning that were essentially taken, right? I saw 9 fastballs taken, 3 sliders, 2 curveballs, and 1 changeup that was pretty far arm side. I don't think that was one that was executed because it was pretty far either in or out. I don't know who it was thrown to. Actually, I don't have that graph pulled up right now. So anyway, most of all these pitches were up in the zone, but the changeup. So when looking at everything that was offered at, there were, I'm not sure if this math lines up, 15, 10. It shows 10 and it shows 15, but that's not quite right because there were 26 total pitches. So I'm missing a pitch in there somewhere, which is actually pretty interesting. Well, if they tried to bunt, I did remove bunts. No, I didn't. That was a different search. 26 pitches. It says 26 pitches there, but when I changed it to pitch result, ball, called strike, I got 15. And then foul tip, and then the in play ones, and a swinging strike, I have 10. So there's no other result that can happen, right? So if I do called strike and if I do ball, I only get 25 pitches. Okay, so at least I'm justified here. I've done every single pitch result, and I have 25 pitches, yet he threw 26 pitches. So something else. Did he hit somebody? You know what I mean? Was there a hit by pitch in the first inning? Do I still have that up? Yes, I do. Let me actually just go to this is like, it's a recording, but I'm doing this live. We had a walk. We had a single. Oh, there was a balk, but that wouldn't be a pitch. A homer. Yes. Seiya Suzuki was hit by pitch. So there was one pitch that I didn't have on here when I was searching for this, and that is because it was a hit by pitch. Okay. Back to what I was saying. Sorry for the confusion there. 10 pitches that were offered at, right? 6 balls in play, 83.3 hard hit rate. 5 fastballs, 1 sinker, 1 slider, and 3 curveballs. I said 6 balls in play. There were 6 batters that he threw pitches that somebody had swung at it at any moment. So 2 singles, 2 homers in those 6 balls in play. What I didn't see when I was looking at this was certain damage on certain pitches. There were 2 homers. One was on a fastball, one was on a curveball. Happ hit the curveball on a 2-0 count. He hit a curveball on a 2-0 count. Ballesteros, the very next pitch on a fastball on the first pitch of the at-bat. So the first inning was kind of a mixed bag of pitches that I saw there that were hit hard. So I'm not really sure by looking at it what pitches he was actually tipping. Or maybe it was all of them and they were able to just be on time for them. But if they knew when fastballs were coming, you would have thought Happ would have just taken a 2-0 curveball middle away. Right? Maybe not. Since he knew it was off speed, then maybe he was able to attack that pitch. I don't know. I would have thought if they just would be waiting for fastballs, but that wasn't the case. What I could see is there were no pitches thrown in the lower third of the strike zone. None of them. A lot of them were at the top. I'm only seeing, when I'm looking at it now, maybe 5 pitches in the middle, inside, down the middle, or outside. And really only 1 on each corner and 3 dead center. And then 3, 2, and 3 on the upper third. And then balls that were outside. But those are in the zone pitches of those pitches that were there. So I don't know. I'm seeing like maybe not great execution, right? I mean, that's just kind of what I'm looking at. Only 2 that were inside or outside off the plate that were in the lower half of the zone. There were 4 pitches in the second, 4 pitches in the third, 7 pitches in the fourth, and 2 pitches in the fifth. But in the fifth, there was only 19 total pitches and only 13 in the third and fourth innings too. So for those numbers to be a little bit lower, even though in the fourth inning, 7 pitches in the lower third of the zone, and he only threw 13 pitches that inning. The pitches he threw in the innings were 26, 28, 13, 13, 19. So it shows you how he was able to be efficient and be really good in that third, fourth, and fifth innings. The fifth inning being the only one I think that was a 1-2-3 inning. And I think the fourth inning, the only guy that reached was reached on an error. All in all, there were 3 hard hit balls from the second through the fifth innings, which is hard hit ball is anything over 95 is qualified as a hard hit ball, right? There were 5 hard hit balls in the first inning. So something that he was doing was known. I'm just not able to identify it here by looking at the data and seeing what they were offering at, what they were taking. Like with Bednar, they just weren't swinging at the curveball. So all they were doing to Bednar was he was tipping the curveball, so they just eliminated it. If I know he's throwing a curveball, I'm not swinging. I'm going to make him bring the fastball so I can be on time for it. So I don't know. Pretty interesting stuff. Good to see that they're on it, I guess. Oviedo also racked up 99 pitches in this one. So you can see real progression coming off the injury. His pitches by start, 43, 75, 53, 79, 78, and then 85 and 99 in this one. This is sort of an outing. This type of thing is something he will gain some confidence around this offseason, I think. I think being able to sweat out 5 innings after what happened in the first inning and even a high pitch count in the second inning, trying to grind through that, that's huge for a team to get to that point, to give the offense an opportunity to climb back into the game. And I know they did that early, but still, like he was able to do that and to save those innings from the bullpen. And I understand that not much of that truly matters right now. But I just keep reminding you guys that like this is not about right now, right? Those players are playing, or at least the evaluators and everything are playing for 2026. A lot of those players are focused on development. And I brought this up this week, I think maybe even twice this week already, how it's hard to play for yourself. And so a lot of time your focus is, I got to get better for next year. I need to figure out a way to help this team win games next year when it matters. And so you're kind of not playing for yourself in that way. Does that make sense? Oviedo has a 3.52 ERA in 7 starts. Guys, that's doable. That's doable. That's good. Despite a 4-run first inning, I was pleased at what I saw he was able to do. And that's my takeaway, right? We have to try to stay somewhat positive if we're able to be. And so it's not like I'm going to make up things. I'm not talking about the offense today because I'm not going to make up something that's not a positive just to try to make it a positive. But I'm telling you that there are things that we can take from these games that still carry some sort of weight. So I just understand where I'm coming from here is I don't want to just say false things or what do they say? Sunshine and rainbows or whatever. That it's not all good, but we can find things. So the Pirates have a day off today. That's great. That means you do too. Jacob Wilson, Nick Kurtz, the Nomadic Athletics are coming to town this weekend. The team without a first name. Enjoy this day off. But there's only 9 more games for all you sickos out there that are like me, that just want to watch baseball, that just want to enjoy their favorite team play baseball, even if it's frustrating. We still, like, if you're a baseball guy or baseball girl and you just love watching the game, those days are limited. So, 9 more games. Then maybe turn your eyes to the playoffs and enjoy teams that can actually fight for things, I guess. That's a thing. All right. Have a great day, guys. It is almost Friday. Let's go, Bucks.
Thanks for listening to the Bridge to Buctober podcast. Subscribing to your platform of choice is the best way to be notified for new episodes. And now, new episodes every weekday. Remember, live shows with my dad and Uncle Jake are Sundays at 9 p.m. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and join them in the live chat every Sunday. Follow them on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram at bridge2 Buctober. Clear the deck, cannonball coming, and let's go Bucks!